Hello, I'm Diane Schumacher. Welcome to Dragons Lair Update. This month, HCC men's and women's lacrosse compete for Region 20 glory and the right to advance to nationals. We'll also have a track and field nationals recap. First up is men's lacrosse. Howard takes on Harford in the Region 20 tournament. Gary Williams anchors our coverage.
Thanks, Diane. Howard enters the tournament as the number 2 seed, looking to avoid a 4th consecutive loss in the Region 20 semifinals. The stakes are high for the Dragons. A win all but locks up an NJCAA at-large selection for Howard. Lacrosse analyst Mike Jones is with us for this win-or-go-home showdown. Mike, what's it going to take for Howard to get the win?
Transition will be a key for Howard today. Harford's defense doesn't always communicate as well as they should, and that's essential in unsettled situations. Howard has an edge defensively. All of their long poles have been playing really well all season.
Harford enters the game with a 7-6 record. The Fighting Owls gave perennial power CCBC Essex a scare in March, but they have only 2 wins over winning teams. So Mike, how can Harford score the upset?
Harford's going to need to play at their own pace. The key to breaking down Howard's defense is possession and quick ball movement. Defensively, they're going to have to stop Howard's big guns, Mitchell, Curcio, and Dagnan Leach.
The winner moves on, the loser goes home. Let's go to Dragons Lair. First quarter, 2-0 Dragons. Harford not connecting in the settled 6-on-6. Outstanding work from Trey Lundelius leads to a turnover. Luke Matanen wins the ground ball for Howard, and he goes to do-it-all short stick midi, Ronald Carney. Broke his ankles there. Carney pushes in transition. Zach Beard hits Jackson Downs. Excellent execution from the Dragons, Mike.
Howard's offense can run transition better than most teams in the country. Good individual defense by Harford, but there's no slide, and he can't stop Austin Mitchell one-on-one.
Howard has built a 4-0 lead as Hartford just can't generate anything on offense at the moment. Perry's Williams got his stick up in the passing lane and it sailed out of bounds. Williams chases it down, quick restart, he likes what he sees, 3-on-3 in transition, frees up Beard, hits a wide open Kevin Curcio, and the goalie has no chance. Second quarter now, settled 6-on-6 possession for Howard. Fighting Owls want no part of All-American Austin Mitchell, 6-0 Dragons. Harford just turned it over. Dragons doing some damage in transition. Scott Dagnan Leach smokes the corner. The sophomore out of the UK makes it an 8-1 game. On to the second half. Fighting Owls come out with some energy. It's now a 6-goal game.
Here's Hartford taking advantage of an uncommon mistake by the Howard defense in transition.
Mike Cook with the overhand finish brings Hartford back within striking distance. Howard's lead is down to 4. After Fighting Owls' goal, here's Matt Junn and Tristan Pace battling at the faceoff X.
Matanen with a heads-up play off the faceoff, and he beats everyone down the field for another great transition by Howard.
Luke Matanen gives it up to Zach Beard, another assistant transition goal for the Dragons. 1:40 remaining in the third quarter. Hartford extra man offense takes the field. Peter Emery takes from him everything. Tremendous individual effort by Emery to take it away from Brad Smith. Matanen wins it for Howard. Hits Michael Russell right in the stick.
Transition seemed to be the key to this game. Hustle produces a lot of opportunities, and they took advantage of every one.
Dragons end Hartford season. 18-8 is your final. Let's send it down to Matt Stovall.
Scott, what was Coach Foust telling you coming into this game?
Well, he was just telling us to win the ground ball battle, as always. Got to win the hustle in the middle of the field and just keep composure, keep focused on this game. Don't be thinking about Sunday too soon. Just take it one game at a time and get the W.
Kevin, what was the key to doing so well offensively today against Hartford?
I think we had to communicate and we had to move the ball around and just get looks. And we need to get that work and get that clicking for Sunday. And I think we did that today.
So Scott, you've come here from Manchester, England. You've been living across the street, and it all comes down to Sunday. Take me through your mindset right now.
I can't wait. I can't put it into words, man. It's been a long journey for me across the pond, and now we're here. We're at the top of Region 20. Got all to play for, and we're competing for that number 1 spot. I can't wait.
It's time for the championship. Howard takes on 8-time defending Region 20 champion CCBC Essex. Dragons are looking to beat Essex for the first time since 2008. Now, despite the Knights' dominance in the win column, the rivalry feels alive and well, with both teams and coaching staffs sharing mutual animosity heading into this one. Mike Jones, the last Howard coach to beat Essex, is back for this Region 20 final. Coach, how can Howard beat the Knights?
There are several keys to today's game for Howard. First, I think they have to have a sustained effort. I expect them to go up early, but they need to maintain a consistent effort for 60 minutes. They also need to stop the Knights' talented attack. It seems like their attack can score at will.
CCBC Essex enters the game with a 14-2 record. The Knights are on a 5-game win streak, and they're undefeated against Region 20 opponents over the last 7 years. Mike, how can Essex make it 9 in a row?
Essex needs to get the ball to their attack. As good as Howard's defense is, it's difficult to control such a talented group like the Knights' attack. I think possession is a key for Essex as well, keeping the ball away from Howard's offense and stopping them in transition.
Howard and Essex face off in the Region 20 Championship. Let's go to the Dragons' Lair. First half, extra man opportunity for Howard. Zach Beard. Dragons land the first blow. Well-placed bounce shot from the freshman out of River Hill. Knights on offense, Rafael Vargas makes no mistakes.
That was all their attack. Quick ball movement by the Essex offense.
Matt Granger. Scott Dagenleach. Kevin Curcio. Howard reclaims the lead. Curcio gets the better of All-American long pole Sid Ewell, and the two have to be separated.
Essex seems to be slow to slide to anyone except Mitchell, creating opportunities for other players like Daniel Chu.
The Dragons are having some success against Essex early. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Derek Taylor on the run, scores. Timely response from the Knights. 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Taylor with the ball on his stick. Traylon Dilias makes a play on defense. Dragons are unable to get the ground ball. Number 2 in goal, Matt Lecomte, gets the defense moving, and it's Brendan Nolan. Executes right on the doorstep. Howard 4, Essex 4 at the half. Declan Winery dodging to that prime real estate. And what a beauty that was. High to low lefty finish. Winery coming up huge in the Region 20 Championships. 2 goals in just over 30 minutes. 11:46 to go in the third. Brendan Nolan doing some more work on the right side. Nolan ties the game. Essex won the faceoff. Taylor makes 2 Dragons miss. Gets to the middle, and he sidearms it in. Knights take their first lead of the game.
Derek Taylor shows why he's a Division I recruit.
30-second push call on James Case. Here's the Dragons' extra man unit. Austin Mitchell goes to Beard. Howard makes him pay. Beard ties it up with his second extra man tally. The Dragon freshmen are contributing on the big stage. After Howard failed clear, here's Rafael Vargas on the invert. Beats him to a spot, and Essex regains the lead. Lecomte's sharp angle. The side of the net is all he gets. Mark Bowser goes to Michael Russell. Not expecting the pass, but Russell's able to secure it anyway, and he delivers a dime to Keegan Moen on the clear. Moen runs free into the box, scores! Keegan Moen brings the Dragons' Lair to life with a long pole equalizer. The Dragons are believing and starting to put a scare into their hated rival. 7:35 remaining in the contest. Howard and Essex exchange goals, and we're tied at 8.
Initially, great defense by Emmanuel Nwana, but Essex is persistent, getting to the middle of the field for a high percentage shot.
Nolan comes up with a big-time play. 4:58 to play. Howard's defense just came up with a stop, but proceeded to throw it away on the clear. Brandon O'Connell feeds Vargas. Dragons give up an open shot right on the crease, and the Knights take their biggest lead of the day.
A simple 3-man play by the Knights' attack gives them a 2-goal lead.
Howard won the faceoff. 4:31 to play. Crucial possession here. Jackson Downs to Dagenleach. Jackson Ellert yard sails him right before the shot. Knights force a turnover with less than 5 minutes to go. Essex opted to milk the clock. Officials hit him with a shot clock. 2:30 remaining.
Declan Winery, great game, but a poor decision here at the end when it could have mattered.
Ellert corrals the ground ball. Essex comes up with another fourth quarter defensive stand. 44 seconds. Dragons double the ball. Empty net. CCBC Essex wins the Region 20 Championship. 11-8 Knights is your final. Next up for the Dragons, a national quarterfinal showdown against 4th-ranked Genesee. Howard enters the national tournament as the at-large selection. Genesee enters the Nationals with a 12-4 record. The Cougars are coming off an 8-goal loss to Onondaga in the Region III Championship. Lacrosse analyst Mike Jones is back for this playoff matchup. Mike, describe Genesee's game.
Genesee likes to play an up-tempo game. Even in their settled offense, the ball moves quickly, and off-ball movement can confuse even the best defenses. Possession is also a key for Genesee. They tend to score on most of their settled possessions.
The winner goes to the Final Four. The loser's season is over. Let's go to the highlights. First quarter, Sherman Williams goes right at short stick Emmanuel Nwana, and he finishes high. Tremendous placement on the southpaw shot. Genesee reclaims the lead. Later in the first, we're tied at 2. Jackson Downs draws the slide, dumps it off to Kevin Curcio. Dragons respond with 2 unanswered. Second quarter, what a matchup. We have All-American Pat Van Bortle working against All-Region 20, All-Maryland JUCO long pole Luke Matanen. Van Bortle wins this battle. Genesee regains the lead. Ensuing faceoff, Mike Catanolo and Reed Needy outnumber Howard's Matt Junn at the faceoff X and win possession for the Cougars. A few seconds later, Genesee looking to set up its offense, but the errant pass winds up on the turf. Jacob Bomberry slaps it in the direction of long stick Reed Needy, the All-American out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, with 2 ground balls and a goal on this one possession. 3-0 run for Genesee. After a Howard timeout, Matt Junn wins the faceoff to himself, gets it off to Scott Dagenleach, threads the needle to Zach Beard, and Beard with the southpaw bomb. Outstanding assisted effort from Howard. Dragons just came up empty after a long possession. Genesee carving up Howard with quick, methodical passing in transition. Bomberry makes the extra pass to Van Bortle, and the Dragons give up a layup. 3-goal lead for the Cougars. Howard's offense just turned it over. Luke Matanen wins it back for the Dragons, and here he comes looking to spark transition, met by Needy at midfield, and he and Keegan Moen are able to connect. And we have a nightmare collision for Dragon fans. Mike Matanen is out for the remainder of the game, and Moen will return just before the half.
Howard has to make a significant adjustment now that Matanen is out for the game.
Genesee showing its killer instinct here, and right after the injury timeout, Van Bortle will not be denied, storms the crease and beats Bowser high. Cougars on a 5-1 run. Mohan is still receiving treatment on the sideline, and this time Van Bortle is the distributor. Cross-field arrow to All-American Jacob Bomberry. Genesee outscores Howard 8-1 in the second quarter to take a commanding 11-4 halftime lead. On to the second half, and Cougars create even more separation. Their lead is now 9. Bomberry with the high to low rip. Genesee's on a 12-2 run over the last 25 minutes, Mike.
Genesee plays a backer defense, and Mitchell still runs by both of them.
Austin Mitchell gets one back for Howard at the end of the third quarter. Davis Prince, freshman out of London, Ontario, with 6 assists in his national quarterfinal, and here he finds Pat Van Bortle on the right side, and he makes it a 9-goal game. 8:48 remaining in the contest, and time is now for Howard to make its move. Austin Mitchell gets to the middle, and he scores! Hat trick for the future UMBC retriever. The Cougars went on to outscore HCC in the fourth quarter as well. Genesee ends Howard's season. The Cougars would go on to win their first ever national championship. It's time for women's lacrosse. Our analyst played varsity lacrosse at Wild Lake High School, and while there, she was one of their top scorers and an elite 300 camp alum. It's a pleasure to welcome Mary Lee Adams.
Thanks, Gary. Pleasure to be here.
Good to have you here. Now, Howard is looking to make history, Mary Lee, as a win secures the program's first ever trip to nationals. The Dragons beat Anne Arundel twice in the regular season. So, Mary Lee, how can Howard win this playoff contest against the Riverhawks?
Well, Howard has the advantage coming into this game over Anne Arundel, but they need to set their plays up from behind the goal, be patient, and spread things out. Cassidy Delaney is going to be a big factor in this game. She's been dominating in the midfield and on attack, and she really has all the tools a Division I team would look for. She's got the mechanics, the speed, and her size is a huge advantage on the field.
Anne Arundel enters the game with a 10-7 record. The Riverhawks have represented Region 20 at Nationals 5 out of the last 6 seasons. So, Mary Lee, what do you expect to see from Anne Arundel?
Anne Arundel has a strong offense. They have some key players, but defensively, it's going to be hard for them to keep up with Howard. They're going to need to step up their draw control to get things going from the midfield.
The winner goes to Nationals. The loser's season comes to an end. Let's go to the Dragons' Lair. First half, Anne Arundel has an early lead. Sylvia Kim playing quarterback for the Dragons.
Howard does a nice job of taking their time and working the ball around and waiting for Cassidy Delaney to cut in. Power for corner goal by Delaney. Sylvia Kim is doing an excellent job of setting up the plays from behind the cage. She's so fast, Anne Arundel can't keep up.
Kim and Rebecca Coughlin go to work on the Anne Arundel defense. Another beautiful assisted effort from Coach Ponchion's Dragons. Renee Ruppert. Elaine Draper finds the back of the net.
Draper does a good job of using her body to roll off the defender and get the goal. Coughlin looks to pass, but does an amazing job of spinning through the defenders and getting the goal on her own. Really great footwork by Coughlin.
Second half now, here's Renee Ruppert.
Howard's defense lets Ruppert get past them too easily. She needs to switch her stick to her left side so she can defend the shot.
Anne Arundel's on a 2-0 run. The game is now tied. Cassidy Delaney, goal!
Great speed by Cassidy Delaney. Howard's not wasting any time setting up plays behind the cage, and it's paying off.
Delaney hammers it in. Another assisted goal from Howard. Draper gets to the middle of the field, and she comes up with a big-time tally, Mary Lee.
Draper powers through the Howard defense.
Ensuing draw, Coughlin against Draper.
Excellent draw control by Howard.
Delaney keeps her head up, looking to feed. Connects with Heather Veely, and she buries it in transition.
Nice left shot by Heather Veely.
7 minutes remaining in the contest. Delaney once again gives herself a high percentage shot, and she makes them pay.
Delaney has excellent mechanics, and she's really fast. Her height helps her too. Anne Arundel's having a hard time covering her.
5:14 to play. Ruppert with the free position. Keeps her team in it. Howard's lead is down to 2. 4:15 remaining now. Howard won the draw. Delaney operating from behind the cage. Dodges above goal line extended and delivers an overhand rip.
Delaney is relentless. She's gonna find a way to get the ball to goal somehow.
Anne Arundel won the draw. We're inside 4 minutes. Danielle Spencer lands a stick check. Dragons win. Howard secures a bid to nationals.
From Howard's play calling to their ground balls, they fired on all cylinders today.
13-9 Dragons is your final. It's time for the Region 20 Championship. Howard goes up against Harford. The winner and loser of this game both advance to the Nationals. The champion plays Region 3 runner-up Onondaga, while the loser of this game will have to play 3-time defending national champion Monroe. Harford is the defending Region 20 District B champion. The Fighting Owls are also the only team to beat Howard this year, as Harford has 2 wins over the Dragons. Mary Lee, what makes Harford so tough?
Cassidy Jones and Lauren Haggerty, they make up a lot of Harford's offense. They use their stick skills to beat the defenders, and they don't just rely on their athleticism. I expect this to be a physical game, and play calling is going to be a key factor.
Howard and Harford battle for the Region 20 District B championship. Let's go to the Dragons' Lair. Let's take you to the end of the first half. We're tied at 6. Ivana Yakovlev takes the ball on her stick, dodges. What a play! Howard takes the lead.
Nice hook shot by Ivana Yakovlev. She really uses her body to roll through the Hartford defenders.
Ensuing draw, Rebecca Coughlin up against Brittany Minsky. Cassidy Delaney gets it going for Howard. Delaney flying like a gazelle. Delaney with one for the cameras. 2-goal lead for the Dragons, Mary Lee.
That all started with Coughlin's draw control, and then Delaney uses her speed and tenacity to finish the play with a goal.
Howard is jumping all over Hartford. 3 goals in the last minute for the Dragons. Audrey Ford. Sylvia Kim draws the slide and frees up Gannon Costello. 4-goal lead for the Dragons.
That was some great passing by Howard, Gary. They waited for the right player to open up. They're really working the ball on the offense.
Second half now, momentum stays with the Dragons.
Excellent play calling by Howard. Setting up their plays from behind the goal is really helping them today.
23 minutes remaining in the contest. Kim off the restart. Season opening and doesn't waste the motion. 6-0 run for the Dragons. Fighting Owls won the draw. Cassidy Jones working behind the goal.
Cassidy Jones uses her strong stick skills to beat out that defender.
Lauren Kavanaugh dodging. Moves to the middle of the field.
Howard's defense is dropping behind. They need to stay with their mark.
All-American Lauren Haggerty was injured during Howard's big run, but she's back on the field.
Wow, quite a long shot. Haggerty has a huge arm. Her shots are powerful and precise.
Free position for Yakovlev. Beats her with a bouncer. Ends a 3-0 Hartford run and reclaims some momentum for the Dragons. 18 minutes remaining. Cassidy Delaney launches it high, scores! Howard's lead is back to 5, Mary Lee.
Great ball placement by Delaney there.
Just under 15 minutes now. Cassidy Jones sees the cutter. Big goal for the Fighting Owls.
Gary, that's some really nice play calling by Harford. Another strong arm shot by Haggerty. She's using a hook shot that has more power, and it makes it harder for the goalie to save. Gary, Howard is really gelling as a team, and Coughlin's draw control is spearheading the offense.
After a Harford foul, here's Delaney, free position shot. Delaney scores! 5 championship goals from the Dragons freshman. A 4-goal lead for Howard with 11 minutes to go. Costello serving a penalty. Howard's down a player. Nicole Cote stays on Hurley and makes her retreat. Goes to Cassidy Jones. What a pass to Megan Arrow! The shot is wide. Goalie Ellie Garvey and Kim running out for Howard. Officials call foul on Garvey. So Garvey's out of her crease. Hartford capitalizes, but hold on. Nicole Cote receives a red card on the play. The goal is waved off, but the Dragons lose their captain for the remainder of the game. Cote will be suspended, Mary Lee, for the national semifinal.
Gary, that really hurts Howard. Nicole Cote is one of the strongest defenders on the team.
Free position for Sierra Donovan. Garvey, unbelievable, sprints into the crease and denies Donovan.
Awesome job by Garvey getting across that goal. She had her eye on the ball the whole time.
3:30 remaining in the Region 20 championship. Can the Dragons make history?
Danielle Spencer creates that turnover and energizes Howard's momentum.
2:30 to go. Minsky takes it across midfield. Ivana Yakovlev is right there with her. Yakovlev forces the turnover and secures the ground ball for Howard. Yellow card on Minsky to make matters worse for Hartford. 1:19 to play. Hartford still a man down. Jones to Kavanaugh. Garvey, what a save.
Garvey is making some really vital saves today. Great performance by her.
Howard wins the region championship for the first time in program history.
Howard really won it with their midfield today, starting their plays from the draw control, and Garvey led their defense to a well-deserved championship.
Let's send it down to Ahmed Hosseini.
Tell us what Coach Ponchon was telling you regarding, or the team I should say, regarding Hartford heading into the game.
Actually, at the beginning of the game, he told us to have fun, and that was like the main thing he told us. Like, make sure you come out there and you have fun, because whenever we do have fun, like, that's when we play well. And all season, he's been telling us, like, you're either the windshield or the bug, and today we decided to be the windshield.
So, Ellie, tell me, how were you seeing the ball so well at the end of the game?
I wasn't seeing it as well as I wish I had at the beginning. Their shots are very fast, and I feel like maybe either they were getting tired or I was just getting a little bit faster because I was angry. I think the turning point when I started seeing more was about 11 minutes into the second half, or it was 11 minutes in the second half, and some calls sort of just got me angry, but I tried to do my best for my defense and try to get the ball back for our team.
What's your plans after the national championship? Do you plan on continuing lacrosse?
I would, but since I'm in the reserves, I got called and I leave in July for like a year. So hopefully when I get back, I'll be able to play, but I'm not sure right now.
Ellie?
I'm fortunate enough to not be called into war, but I'll be going to Mount Ida, playing as their goalie up in Massachusetts.
Next up for the Dragons, a rematch against Region 3 runner-up Onondaga. Howard upset the Lasers in March to score the program's first ever win against Onondaga. So Mary Lee, what do you expect to see from OCC?
Onondaga is a powerhouse. Their transitions are seamless and their shot placement is pretty spot on. Their name is fitting as they have laser speed that most defenses just can't keep up with.
The winner moves on to the national championship. The loser goes home. Let's go to the highlights.
Quick pass by Victoria Thompson. Cheyenne Burnham with the easy finish.
Onondaga takes the lead. Kristen Drake dodging. Draws two defenders, goes to Burnham, and she fires it past Garvey.
Howard's defense is too slow. They have to stay on their sticks.
3-0 Onondaga now. Cassidy Delaney with the wild check, and she receives a yellow card. She will receive a second yellow card with just over 6 minutes into the game, and that forces Howard, Mary Lee, to play without their All-American scorer.
Onondaga has excellent shot placement. It's very hard to defend those kind of shots.
Sylvia Kim, without her number one target Delaney, searching for answers. Kim gets to the middle of the field and puts Howard on the board.
Gary, Howard is playing their mark straight on. They're planting their feet and they're getting beat every time.
Burnham burns the Dragons yet again. 4-goal lead for OCC.
Sloppy passing by Howard. You can't let that happen.
Samantha Roberts jumps on the ground ball and sparks transition for the Lasers. Roberts finds a wide open Madison Pritchard in the middle of the field. Pritchard ahead to Burnham. 6-goal game for the sophomore out of Monroe, North Carolina. 8-1 Onondaga. After a Howard foul, here comes the Lasers, and Onondaga is excelling in transition, Mary Lee.
Onondaga is quite a unit. Their offense is using their quick passing to get those goals off every time.
25 minutes remaining, a free position for Rebecca Coughlin. A powerful overhand rip, and that makes it an 8-goal game. But Mary Lee, without impact players Nicole Cote and Cassidy Delaney, the Dragons come up short. Onondaga wins it 17-6, and the Lasers end Howard's season.
It's a pleasure to welcome this year's Region 20 District B champion and District B Coach of the Year, Brett Poncione. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you, Diane.
You know, I read in the Baltimore Sun that we really struggled early in the season. What was a turning point, do you think?
Yeah, we did struggle early. We went to, our first scrimmage was against Delaware State, a 4-year D1 school. We learned right away that we weren't good at very many things, and we were weak at a lot of things. And I think we went to Delaware. We had 12 players. We had no subs. We had a starting defender that didn't know the rules. And as the game went on, I was kind of scratching my head wondering, again, you know, I'm not sure how this is going to work. And at that point, I literally said to myself, I don't know that we'll win a game this year. We got on the bus and we were driving back, and I looked in the rearview mirror, and the girls were having so much fun, and it just, I don't know, it dawned on me that there might be something to this group. I mean, as bad as we just played, for them to be, and most of them didn't know each other. Half the team was new. I think we had 4 or 5 returning players. But I sensed that the chemistry was really there.
Now tell me a little bit about your mindset now going into your second year.
I'm passionate about what I do. I love to coach, and this year has just fueled that. And I can't wait to begin preparing for next year. And actually, I was texting back and forth with a couple of players yesterday afternoon. And this is Sunday after our loss on Saturday. We got back at midnight, and I know everybody was tired. And Sunday afternoon, they started texting back and forth, and we were joking about Under Armour gear and who we could get to sponsor us. And eventually, I said, okay, I'm going to turn my text machine off because it's time to work out. Today's the first day of next season. And it kind of went silent for a couple of minutes, and then one of them texted back and said, I think he's serious. And I said, I am, because I hadn't worked out myself for 3 months, so my body needed to recover. And I said, today's the day you start. You don't put it off till next Monday or the Monday after, because the longer you wait, the harder it is to, get back into the routine. So the last week, and I'll continue this week, visiting high school games, the different counties, Montgomery County, Howard County. I try to make a point of meeting the high school coaches, introducing myself. Typically, they're thrilled to know that there is an opportunity out there for a lot of their student athletes that want to continue to play.
Coach, outstanding season for your rookie season. Best wishes this summer, and I look forward to seeing what you can do next year.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach. It's time now for track and field. Howard Community College men's track and field finished 4th at Nationals, compiling 74.5 points. Women's track and field finished 6th at Nationals, scoring 49.5 points. Congrats to track and field on an outstanding season. Thanks for watching, and remember, go Dragons!